I'm going to go ahead with the meeting beginning ritual. 起立，面向佛堂，参加先鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，参加各位的传习鞠躬，开班一鞠躬，请坐下。So I think you guys may find this interesting. When we talk about something that's impossible or possible, well, how do you tell the difference? Well, you need to discern the difference. How do you discern? Well, you need to figure out what's good and bad, what's better or worse, what's more correct for yourself, more suitable for yourself. How do I do that? You can just keep asking until you get the heart of it. So to be more discerning is important in all aspects of life. So how do we improve it for ourselves? So there are two vital ingredients on discernment. Number one, detached observation, the ability to take a step back mentally, perceive the situation from different angles without attachment. To be without attachments and observation means that you're not going in with a preconceived notion of what the answer ought to be, and you are willing to let the evidence lead you. Let the evidence lead you to whatever conclusion is the right one. So what's the other part? Well, the other part is intuition. So in the Tao, detached observation is 观察. Intuition is the ability to tap into your natural power to figure out stuff at the subconscious level long before the rational mind catches up. Everybody has it. Sometimes intuition is suppressed. And I'm of the opposite opinion. Rather than to suppress it, I say you should work on it. You should make it as strong as you possibly can. It becomes a tool that you will be able to tap into for the rest of your life, and it's incredibly powerful. Intuition is incredibly powerful. So let's cover those. Let's talk about what those are and how we can use them. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's do as much of this as we can. So detached observation. Here, putting out another expression, common expression in Chinese, 当局者迷, 旁观者清, and sometimes it's flipped around the other way, 旁观者清, 当局者迷. Either way, you see the pronunciation down here in the pinyin romanization. This is following this particular order, 当局者迷, 旁观者清. What does that mean? Okay, so first of all, 者, this character here, that's repeated in the two lines. It means the one who, those who, he who, she who. 当局, that means the one who faces a situation, the one who is in front of a problem. 旁观者, that's the person who's watching from the sidelines. Then we just have to decipher this character versus this character, the last character here. Mi means to be lost and confused. Qing means to be clear. So altogether, it says that the person who's facing a situation is confused, and the person who's watching from the sidelines is clear. How does that work? Well, first of all, let me put the translation up. The one facing the situation may be confused, but the one who is observing from the sidelines is quite clear. I probably don't need who here. The one observing from the sidelines. Okay, so originally, this is an expression that applies quite well to Chinese chess. So think about, and you can think of it as just like Western chess. So think about the chess player. When you are sitting in front of that chessboard, you're under pressure, and you are thinking about the possible win or the possible loss of the entire chess match, and at the level of the different pieces, you're thinking about different moves and the gains that you can make capturing enemy pieces, or the loss that you will suffer when the enemy captures your piece. So thinking about that can stress you out, and in that situation, you're not able to really think about everything as clearly as you otherwise would, because you are not relaxed at all. Whereas someone who's watching the match, doesn't really have to worry about winning or losing, can actually be very relaxed, can actually look at what's going on, and therefore will see everything much clearer. And if you are wondering what Chinese chess is, has anyone not seen Chinese chess? Has everyone seen it? Okay. How about those of you who are online? How many people have or have not seen Chinese chess? Let me take a look at everybody's answers. Okay, I'm seeing some no's, and I'm seeing some yeses. Okay, so I think it's useful for me to put up a picture, show you what it looks like. So this is Chinese chess. Chinese themselves will call it 象棋. Now, there are different parts to it. Because we're getting close to 12:30, I won't explain. I'll leave it until next time to explain the different parts of this picture. And I would also relate a story about how Chinese chess came in handy for this one guy who was married to an Asian girl and was trying so hard to fit into her family that whenever he visited, with his wife's family, people are talking their own language. They don't really engage him. He felt like he wasn't really accepted as part of the family. And when he came to me with this problem, I said, I have the solution for you. I will teach you how to play Chinese chess. So let me tell you about that next time. We'll go ahead and cover the question that I started answering previously, and the question was, to be more discerning is important in all aspects of life. How can one improve discernment? So answer, there are two vital ingredients. As I mentioned, it's observation and intuition. So let me go ahead and bring those out. Detached observation. So it's not just observing something. You also have to do the observation from a detached frame of mind. That is, take a step back mentally, perceive the situation from all different angles, to be objective and to follow the evidence wherever it leads, rather than to look for things that confirm your preconceived notions. That's important, and that's why detached is an important qualifier to observation. So I can talk more about that in just a moment. The other one, intuition. So everyone has this ability to tap into a natural power, figure stuff out at the subconscious level. The subconscious is extremely powerful, and it knows stuff. It knows the answer long before the rational mind, the logical mind, the reasoning mind, long before our conscious awareness of what is going on, the subconscious mind has already figured it out. So the more we can tap into that power, the more beneficial it will be for us. Okay, so previously, I talked about detached observation, and this is the slide that I showed. So I explained a phrase from Mandarin, 当局者迷, 旁观者清. This phrase right here. And if you wonder about the pronunciation, here's a pinyin pronunciation guide. 当局者迷, 旁观者清. And the rough translation, 当局者 is the one who's facing a situation. Mi is confused or disoriented. 旁观者, 旁 means the side, 观 observation, 者 the person who is observing from the sidelines, 清 clear-minded, clear conceptions, clear ideas. So I talked about how this was originally from Chinese chess, and so I asked people how many have seen it, how many people have not. So it was about half and half. Quite a few people still hadn't seen Chinese chess. Pretty much everyone has seen regular conventional chess, the chess pieces, the king and queen, the rook, the bishop, the pawns, all that. But in this culture, there are still quite a few people who have not seen 象棋, which is the name for Chinese chess. So what I did was that I brought in graphics to demonstrate what it looks like. And I wanted to break down the different elements to explain, and I will get to intuition. So I did receive another question about, hey, it's great that you talk about intuition, Derek, but how do we increase our powers of intuition? I do have some recommendations for everyone based on personal experience. I have also a report for everyone about what things I have tried that totally did not work. So we'll get to that. For now, I will just give you a quick summary of what this is. So similar to a chessboard, except that you don't begin with the two lines, the two neat rows of chess pieces. Instead, you begin with this particular layout. So the front row, this character here, these are the equivalents to the pawns. And on the other side, you'll see a similar front row with different characters, but those are basically the infantry, the foot soldiers. Then we have a couple of pieces, the cannons, that do not exist in conventional chess. And we have at the very center, we have the general, the commanding general for this particular army. He's protected, he's flanked by two guards, left and right. And we have here a piece, elephant, which is similar to the bishop in that it moves diagonally. However, it is confined to this side of the board. Then we have ma, that means horse, and it's similar to the knight. And then here, the battle carriage, this is similar to rook. So there's opening between the pawns for the pieces to move through. So play tends to be much more fluid and fast. Between the two sides, you have 楚河, which means the Chu river. 汉界, that means the Han, H-A-N, boundary. So this is the boundary between the two. Then on the two sides, you have inscriptions in Mandarin. To the right, you have 起手无回大丈夫. That just means that once you have made a move and you remove your hand from the piece, that's it. It is set. If you then change your mind or regret that move, or you just happen to see after you withdraw your hand, let go of the piece, that you see that it was actually a dumb move, and the other side now will gain an advantage, it's too late. You cannot hit the undo button, so to speak. And on the left-hand side, 观其不与真君子, it just says that when you are observing a chess match that is in play, that you shouldn't talk, and that would mark you as a true gentleman if you are able to keep your silence. So why is that? Well, it is because as you are sitting down playing chess, this kind of chess, you're facing a situation. You are 当局者. You are the person facing the situation. So you're a little bit nervous. You're thinking about loss, thinking about victory, gains, or possibly having your pieces captured. So all of these thoughts tend to interfere with the cool, rational analysis and strategies that will be beneficial for you. So you can't see things quite as clearly. You are, to a greater or lesser extent, confused. Whereas someone who's observing from the sidelines, because that person has nothing at stake, that person can be very clear, can be very rational, very objective, very calm and relaxed, and usually come up with better moves or better analysis of the situation. So that person can see more. Like, the person actually playing can be walking into a trap, which is so clear to someone who's observing. But that person should not say anything, should not be like, you don't want to do that, then you'll be helping that side. And you are not a true gentleman. You are not letting the match be a real contest between the two sides. Of course, occasionally you're going to have a player who is so advanced and so powerful that he's going to say, yeah, why don't you guys work together? Why don't you guys, figure out as a team what the best strategy is? So he's taken on basically two players at the same time, their combined wisdom. So the main idea to take away from all this is the inscription on the left-hand side that when you observe, if you don't talk, then you are a true gentleman. And this springs from the fact that when you are facing the situation, you're much more likely to be confused. When you're observing from the sidelines, in detached frame of mind, you're much more likely to be clear. So if you extract from that and apply it to everyday life, then you easily arrive at the concept that no matter what situation you are facing, if mentally you can detach yourself and then look at the situation from a different vantage point, that's going to be to your advantage. So one part of increasing your discernment, the power of discernment, is to be able to detach yourself in that way. Okay, moving on. So what about intuition? There are ways to increase one's powers of intuition as well. So I'm going to offer 3 simple ways to increase your intuition. Number 1, I call it just a request. And it may sound a little bit odd, it may seem a little strange, but you can literally talk to yourself. You don't need to do that out loud. You can just tell yourself, in your mind, you can direct yourself. You can call yourself by your own name, or you can address the subconscious mind directly. What I actually do is that I'll just say, okay, subconscious mind, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to work on. Here's what I want you to figure out. And I would actually suggest that it's beneficial for you to go to sleep with that particular thought. If you are facing a thorny issue in life, you're not sure exactly what to do, my suggestion would actually be to put your powerful subconscious mind to work. So before sleeping, okay, Mr. Subconscious, or Ms. Subconscious, as the case may be, I want you to work on this. I want you to work on this particular problem. And tomorrow, when I get up, I expect that you will have completed your analysis and given me the answer. Something like that. So you don't necessarily need to write it down, although some people find it very helpful to write it down. The act of writing it down seems to etch the request to your subconscious mind in your conscious and subconscious mind, bringing them into alignment so that when the time comes the next day, you will literally know the answer. You just know it. So number 1 is to make an actual request, is to make sure your subconscious mind knows exactly what it is you're after, what it is that you want. So let that intuition work for you by literally turning it on. Number 2, you will find number 2 in pretty much every website, every web page that advises people on how to increase the power of intuition. Meditation. I have found it to be very helpful myself as well. And I have encountered people who are so great, so good at this. They even, they can tell the future for people. And when when they were asked, what is your secret to be so discerning, to be able to tell so much about other people without knowing them, without asking them questions, and what they say is that you hear these voices of the powerful intuitive mind, but it's a whisper. So the more you can quiet your mind, the more easily you can hear what it's telling you. So the same is true for all of us. Everyone has a powerful subconscious mind that's constantly telling you stuff. It's telling you what to do, it's telling you what's really up. But if it's being drowned out by the noise in your mind, you won't be able to hear any of it. So meditation essentially is a practice on how to quiet your mind so that you can do it on command whenever you need to really listen closely to what the intuitive voice is saying. So meditation, a regular meditative practice, I have found, in my case, dramatically improves my ability to exercise my intuition. Number three is practice. This I find to be extremely important as well. And I would suggest that if you want to work on your intuition, that you begin with small decisions that you can trust to your intuition and not rely on your rational mind. And when you're trying to predict something or figure out what to do, you just need to keep track of how it feels. You want to listen for the intuitive voice, so to speak, get a feeling for that, track that feeling, remember how it feels, and track the result on how well your hunch has worked out. The more you do this, the more you get to know what it feels like when you are right. And you can later on go by that same feeling when you get another hunch, a gut feeling about something, then you know you're on the right track. And the reason why this is important is because so often we get it wrong. What we're listening to is the voice of fear and not the voice of intuition. The voice of fear usually sounds like, but what if? But what if something goes wrong? But what if this or that? What if that person I am trusting doesn't come through? What if blah, blah, blah? So the voice of fear can drown out the sound of wisdom from the intuitive voice. That's number one. And number two is wishful thinking. That sounds like, wouldn't it be great if, wouldn't it be awesome if, uh, wouldn't I, really like it if, wouldn't, is the sound of wishful thinking, and that too can drown out the intuitive voice, making you not realize what's really going on, but directing your attention to what it could be that would please you. So just to share with everyone, my personal experience is that when I'm right about something, I now recognize the feeling. The feeling is almost the exact opposite of excitement. Like my heart doesn't skip a beat when I'm right about something. When I'm right about something, the feeling is more like, oh, that's the way it is. Yeah, of course, that's the way it is. It's like the most perfectly natural and ordinary feeling there is. Then I just know that I'm right. And there's no excitement to it. There's no spider sense, whoa, danger. I sense danger. The heart doesn't beat faster. No feeling of excitement whatsoever. Your mileage may vary. There's a very successful businessman who talks about how he's been relying on his own intuitive voice over the years, and the feeling that he gets, he focuses on the negative feeling in a deal that would not be beneficial for him, and he says that he'll visualize a particular deal as a meal that he will consume, and then he'll check with his gut on how well the food is settling down in his stomach. If he's feeling stomach upset, then he knows that the deal is a bad deal. If he is feeling that the meal is nutritious and delicious, then it's a good deal. So Your mileage may vary. The key is to practice and get to know how your intuitive mind works, what signals it will choose to tell you if you are right or wrong. So these are the ways, these are the three primary ways that I have found that really work and work really well. Now let me share with you what I have found that don't really work. Here, so I've been exposed to a lot of these techniques. So I'm using Stuart Smalley to represent, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. A lot of times, this is really in the realm of wishful thinking, which is not necessarily the same as intuitive voice. So the New Age techniques that have not worked out for me, let me share some of them with you. To increase my intuitive voice, let go of childhood hurt. Really, that hasn't worked out for me. Sorry. And my comment here is that there are quite a few web pages out there that seem to regard everything as sort of a personal therapy, and you can probably tell I don't feel that's necessary at all. So to me, letting go of childhood hurts has no impact whatsoever on increasing one's intuitive powers. Number two, forgive yourself. Same thing, see above. I don't see that it has anything to do with increasing one's intuitive powers. You don't necessarily need to engage in a therapeutic session to forgive yourself, forgive other people, to increase your intuition. It may be helpful. That's up to you. I don't know. But it has nothing to do with increasing the power of discernment, which is our ultimate goal. The last one, that doesn't work, that I have seen, come home to yourself. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Sorry. It has nothing to do with the intuitive power. So, so that's it. That's my little talk for everyone on increasing the power of intuition. Let's go ahead and do the meeting ending ritual, everybody. 起立，面向佛堂，持架三鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，持架规则是一鞠躬，接班一鞠躬。Okay, everybody, we are done.
Participate in the Tao meeting by joining us online. For information, go to Taoism.net/Tao